Good evening, everybody. I hope everybody had a great Tuesday. Oh, second day of the week, huh? Sucks. We still have so long to go. For those who have weekends off, I like for people who like me. I have rotating days off. So like when I have to work the weekend, people are like, oh, what bothers me is that, and I got the same thing when I was working for Jimmy John's, right? It could be a really shitty day. It's hot out, it's raining, it's, because it's Florida, sometimes the roads are nasty and stuff. And people will order stuff, and then when you deliver to, they're like, "Oh man, I hope you're doing okay," and this that, and the other. It's like, if you really hoped that, you wouldn't order so much shit. You wouldn't have me out here. And then the people who are surprised when, like, I show up as a mailman on a Saturday, and they're like, "You work Saturdays?" I'm like, where have you been? Okay, so let's see how it goes. All right, it's time to fire this bad boy up. Come back to the music here in a minute. Launching. I thought it was. Do I need to hit it again? Oh, there we go. Ooh. Oh, boo. Oh, that sucks. Oh, that sucks. Menu. Options. Where? Advanced. Compatibility. Because it feels like my mouse is moving really fast. Oh, that sucks. And go. Are they up now? No. Oh, that's lame. Oh, well. It says 5 p.m. Yeah, we'll see about that. I mean, people were complaining about the login screen. I don't know how I feel about it. I mean, yeah, it's very basic. However, this could be the login screen that they wanted to show players before the expansion actually launches. So like, this is the one they saw on the test realms and everything. It's like they could have something up their sleeves with this, because you can kind of see, there's light bleeding through this. This, it's obviously like a Titan. It's got Titan type architecture to it. It's got this machine. There's cracks in it, and it's but this is all to me, because like even the background to the World of Warcraft expansion, like the icon and stuff, because it used to be there was a world map behind it a lot of times. That was like the original thing. So now to see this, it's got some aesthetic to it. It's got some it's not awful. For people who want to shit on it or whatever, it could be worse. But I guess we got a few minutes. Just fuck around for a little while, maybe mess around with some talents. Oh man, let's do. So long time ago, so if anybody doesn't remember Vanilla WoW, or if you're new to World of Warcraft, period, the initial version of the game, there was a video that came out a long time ago, and it was basically just, it was an animation for this like this raid that had happened, you know. And back in the day, they were 40-man raids. Onyxia room images, Onyxia's lair. Okay. I mean, kind of get a, I kind of want to get a sense of it. So we got this map here. Okay. And then no, I want the picture. Here we go. Okay. Yeah, that works too. Okay. His lair, and then Onyxia's lair. Yeah, that'll work. Okay, so let me put this on screen so we can actually follow along here. Okay, so here we go. So we've got, we can make this smaller, this a little bigger. There we go. Okay, so basically how it goes is you walk into her room, basically. So what you have to do is, all right, so as you walk in, so like you make your way, that's the entrance. You drop down here, and then what you do is, as you can see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 enemies. They're guards that basically, you know, they just guard her entrance, right? So you have to make your way through them, and they're not overly dangerous. They're tough, but it's a, you know, it's basically a formality. You have to make your way into there, and it kind of gives you a taste of the kind of damage you can expect. Because if these guys give you too hard of a time, you shouldn't be here. They should be relatively easy, testing a little bit of your coordination, things like that. But they shouldn't, if it's any kind of, like, if they block your progress, go ahead and zone on out and go do something else to like gear your people up, or work on, you know, practice on your coordination and things like that. Because I remember back in the day, it was, as you scaled up in difficulty in terms of content, you would definitely see the people who were just phoning it in versus the people who really knew how to play the game. Because a lot of the times when you have spells being cast, your characters, pretty much everybody, not every class, but most of them had some kind of way to interrupt that spell cast. We call them interrupts, kick, whatever. Warriors had 2. They had shield bash and pummel. Rogues had kick, and it was funny because it was an actual kick animation, and it did a little bit of damage. So there are PvP videos from back in the day where like some rogue finishes off a player who had like a pixel of health, and they kick them and it does like 30 damage and they get the kill. But you had that kind of stuff, and like dodging the fire. So like these cracks in her room, you can kind of see like they kind of glow. They're glowing right now. occasionally fire will kind of spike up from the floor, and it causes damage. But as you can see from this picture, this is how the fight goes, and this is bizarre that they have her face this way. I don't think these people are far enough away from her fire breath. So the idea is that typically your tanks would turn her around, so they would run at her. She wakes up as you get close. She wakes up and gets into, like, you know, a standing animation, so she's ready to go. If you guys are ready to pull, you have your tanks go in, and what they do is they start, you know, hitting her and doing all kinds of abilities to generate what's called aggro or threat. So the idea is that your tanks need to always be 1 and 2 on threat. You really don't need more than 2 tanks. Sometimes you could get you could have like 3, maybe you'd have just like a backup. But even that tank, because the way it worked is because the only tanks in raids at this point, later on I did see some druids who would go in bear form and things like that. Most of the time it's warriors using some kind of one-handed weapon and a shield. Now later on, you would have warriors using 2 weapons, because they needed to just, once they could survive the damage, you know, pretty consistently, they could switch out their shield for another weapon, do a lot of damage, and then maybe put the shield on mid-fight if you needed to. Because what was nice is you could you could switch weapons mid-fight. You just equip it. It delays your next swing, you know, however many seconds, but you just put on a new weapon or whatever. Well, you would typically take her and spin her around so that she's facing that back wall. But the deal with dragons in World of Warcraft is the front and her. So basically, it's usually, if somebody's watching that knows it, what was it, like 60 degrees, or maybe it was 90. It could have been 90 degrees, you know, behind, and then 90 degrees forward. There was a cone. So either she would cleave, and it would do like a swipe horizontally, so it would hit anyone in that cone. So a lot of the times you would have your warriors up front to, you know, to get hit by it, so that way they generate rage. Because the best way for a warrior to generate rage is to just get beat up. They just get pissed off, so they can use their rage for different abilities and things. But so but melee, this guy here using his daggers, or there must be a fury warrior up there somewhere. So that warrior's in battle stance, but it looks like they have a shield on. Is that a ret paladin over there? Holy shit, is it? I want to see. I can those shoulders, bro. It looks like the bananas. It could be a warrior in judgment. And then who the fuck is this guy? Probably another warrior, fury warrior, and then whoever the fuck this asshole is, some gnome. Anyway, so your melee class, typically they want to stand behind her. Well, they have to stand to her side, but slightly. It's weird how you had to position yourself around the boss to not get, because her rear attack was she would use her tail and tail swipe people. They would get knocked away. Well, this fight in particular had a lot of issues, and so, so you would have a lot of people typically. Now, a lot of the times she would just randomly knock people away anyway. It's part of the fight. But you have these little whelps here. You can see them spawning over here. Typically what happens is she does a knockback. 1 or 2 people might get hit by it, and they get thrown into these little side chambers here. So in here, you can see it says whelp eggs. And there's just a ton of them. You can kind of see on the picture here, any of those little like lighter colored areas on the floor in these little rooms here, those are eggs. You touch them, they hatch. So typically you don't have too many. That she will occasionally, they're part of the fight. There's no way you can not have them, but it's manageable. Where it gets out of hand is when people aren't watching where they're positioned. They get knocked away, and all of a sudden you had a group that she summoned. She just hatches a few of her own eggs. They come out, and there could be 6 or 7 on each side. you know, but they can hurt, you know, these classes here, you know, these guys are wearing cloth. They aren't meant to get hit. That's the whole point of these classes. They are not meant to be physically attacked or to do any kind of attacking. They cast spells. That's all they do. Well, you would typically have a mage over here, and you can see that's a mage there, and they will freeze them in place. The problem is your tanks are busy with the, you know, Big Bertha over here. They don't have time to deal with these, so that's all on everybody else. So it gets kind of chaotic because you have her facing up here, so her tail is facing this way. Now me, when I played it back in the day as a hunter, I would just camp out way back here because she was so far. Her nose is like touching this rock here, so her tail is probably about here, maybe a little bit further, because I would hang around right about here. She couldn't hit me, and I was pretty self-sufficient. I never took damage because I would stand in between the cracks in the floor and just, you know, I would just sit out there and would rarely take any kind of damage. So it was fine. I knew what I was doing, but that way I could kind of see, and I could help out as I saw whelps coming out. I could, you know, they're typically not going for me because I'm often, you know, doing my own thing, but they start making their way up here because everybody else is camped out around her. Well, the fight itself is pretty cyclical. She sits there and she's on the ground. She fights you for a while. She goes up in the air. She starts flying around and she'll breathe fire on parts of the room. You have to move around and dodge it. All the while, you've got these little whelps coming out. Typically, I would say probably 90% of the time that people died on this fight, you know, and groups would completely wipe because everybody would just eat shit, and you'd have to, and you'd have to, as you go back into your ghost form, you then have to, your graveyard is like outside, you know, in the zone. You have to run all the way back as a ghost, come into the entrance, and then make your way all the way back down. Now these guys can respawn. It takes, I want to say it's 2 hours. If you can't kill this bitch in 20 minutes, again, you got work to do. You got some people to kick. You got some people to rotate out. Something's going on. Somebody is fucking you over. Well, there is a video, and it's really just, it's audio, but there's a nice visual to it because it's a guy, it's a raid leader raging in voice chat. And so it's amazing. So that's the kind of idea of the fight. Like, this picture kind of gives you an idea of what's going on. You got the little whelps coming out. You have her to deal with. She has a few attacks. You got the floor that can spit fire. There's a lot going on, right? The last thing you need is more of these little fuckers coming out and going right for your healers or your big spellcasters, because when she's flying, these guys, your melee class, they can't do shit. They're just looking up at her like, just like they can't touch her. So it relies on everybody else who has any kind of ranged ability to, to bring her, because you have to keep damage on her, and eventually she'll land and then start this phase over again. Well, let's see what happens when people don't know what they're doing, and you have a raid leader who's, I think, trying to lead a pug. So what was the story behind this? This was pre-BC. Because he was saying DKP. So the concept of DKP is another thing. DKP stands for Dragon Kill Points. It's a holdover from EverQuest and everybody else that came over from those older games. That's what they called it. Because you don't always fight dragons, you're fighting other enemies and stuff. But what DKP was is that she would be worth X amount of points. Everybody who is present, and you can, there's when you play the game, you have a combat log. So you have your chat window and you can talk to people. Then you have this other window, and it's just raw data filling your combat log, because it's going to tell you, damage you take, damage you dealt, what kind of damage was it? Was any of it mitigated or reduced? Was any of it avoided? Was it an overkill? Was it a critical strike? Was it, and what contributed to your death? So it gives you a lot of information. So what they used to do is pull those to see how much damage people were doing, how much damage they were taking. Because you would, if you had somebody who shouldn't be taking damage, who is, you are stressing your healers out. They got shit they got to do, and they don't need to be babysitting some hunter or some warrior who's not a tank. They're just taking unnecessary damage. So you get points for that. Well, some guilds used to take points away when you did something that may cause issues for the guild. So if you're dying or there's certain mechanics that you can actually cause collateral damage. There's sometimes you get turned into like a living bomb on one fight. You get some kind of disease on you that can spread to people, or whatever. If you can be causing collateral damage, that may be something that they may punish you for. But I haven't watched this in forever.
Odd groups go to left, even groups go to right. That means 1, 3, 5, 7 left, 2, 4, 6, 8 right. 7 and...
Okay, that sounds pretty easy, right? So you have the room, odds left, evens right. And that is the default to this day. This is 20 years ago this was out. No, yeah, because she was part of, she was the initial, she was like early on. So everybody in the even group, when you're looking at her, it's not stage right and left, it's us looking at the boss. You go to that side. So odds left, evens right. Easy stuff, right?
8 are whelp groups. Okay, listen the fuck up. You are going to the...
Wait, no, I want the actual... No, what? I want YouTube approved. Dives, Onyxia. No. No. Damn it. Is this the one? Censored, safe word. No, I don't care. Why are these so many? Oh, man. Whatever. Fine. No cursing. We can't have any fun.
Odd groups go to left, even groups go to right. That means 1, 3, 5, 7 left, 2, 4, 6, 8 right. 7 and 8 are whelp groups. Okay.
Again, he's assigning people to a specific task, okay? So 7 and 8, so you've got one group on the left, one group on the right, and that's their entire job. Is when there are whelps up, they shouldn't be doing anything else but killing them, healing people who are killing them. You're gonna know who's gonna be dealing with that.
Okay, listen the fuck up. You are going to DPS very, very slowly.
DPS is damage per second. So for melee, you just auto attack. So it's a very steady, damage. It's you just let your weapons do all the work. You're not doing anything to it. And same thing with like casters. You typically would have a wand. So your wand just kind of fired at a steady rate. It would just shoot a little bolt of some kind of magic, and it would just be, and that's all you would want to do.
Now, and by slowly, I mean fucking slow. If you get aggro, it means you're going to lose 50 DKP because you didn't know what the fuck to do. And watch the fucking tail. If you get kicked into the whelps, you lose 50 DKP again for not being where the fuck you were supposed to be. There is no aggro reset. You only need... There's some shit about an aggro reset.
I kind of like that. Because typically when your healer gets aggro, and it's happened to me recently, like, doing mythic dungeons in Dragonflight, and I thought I had all the ads, and then something happens, and like two or three of them just decided to, they're like, oh, this healer is actually causing a lot of threat because they're keeping everybody alive. I'll fuck their shit. And yeah.
Said when people don't know how to manage their aggro. After 2 Sunders, you can basically start doing damage to it.
So Sunders are the Prot Warrior ability. What it does is it's an ability. It doesn't cause any damage. What it does is it sunders the enemy's armor. What that does is it reduces it by, I think it was a static amount back in the day. I don't remember the value because I remember at 5, because it can stack up to 5 times. And it's the standard threat generator. It doesn't cost a whole lot of rage, and it can, it can be, once it's applied, it does a fair amount, because after they put the sunders on, the warriors are also hitting harder, so your tanks can kind of, get some damage in there too. So most of the time, and you would let the warrior decide how fast to apply those sunders. So he may do one sunder, do some other abilities to kind of fill in the damage, and then once he does that second one, he knows that's a green light for your damage. So you better be ready to pick up. Typically it was so that he had a full rage bar, so that as he hit the second sunder, boom, 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 4 or 5 threat abilities to, hit the enemy, make them focus on them. Because once the damage starts pouring on, it's hard to get their threat to come down. The only people that had any kind of threat reduction, 1, 2, 3, it might have been 4 classes had any ability to reduce their aggro on the boss. Everybody else, you were playing with fire. If you were just because some people are looking at their damage meter and not their threat meter, and you have to, back in the day, you had to watch both. It's not necessarily a DPS race. It's again, it's cyclical. It's a rhythmic fight. You don't have to go crazy to be number 1 on the list, because typically if you are, and you're not watching that other meter, and you get ahead of one of the tanks, that's a 50 KP minus coming your way.
Assuming you know how aggro works and you don't over aggro. Okay, nuke it, dot it, help the whelp groups. When it's in phase 2, nuke it as hard as possible.
Also, dot is damage over time. So, there was a lot of classes that had those, and it used to, it was fairly, it was filler damage, because it's kind of nice, because it's a spell you only have to put on once, and it just sits there and over a certain duration will just do damage for you, so you can do other stuff.
You want to get it down as fast as possible. Have dots up on every time. 2 rows, Shadow Word Paints, Warlock Curses, Rends, everything. I don't see enough dots. More dots now. Come on, more DPS. Hit it like you mean it. You'll get time to rest in phase 3 while I'm getting the aggro. Remember, save all your aggro reducing abilities for when it lands. That means Feign Death, Vanish, fucking Fade, anything that you can use to reset aggro. At 40%, you will stop dots. Until then, you will throw more dots. Throw more dots, more dots, more dots. Come on, more dots. Okay, stop dots. Now hit it very hard and very fast. Lee, run to the center. Mogris, run to the center. Foresight, run to the center. Sarp, run to the center. Isis, run to the center. Whatever the fuck you do, do not stand next to other people. Mogris, center. Just heal me. Lee, do not go away from the head, Lee. Go away. Okay, DPS. Slowly. Come here, you fucking cunt. Touch the tail.
He must have been taking the boss.
Crush him was fair and zero.
Who the fuck was that? Crush him? What the fuck? Whelps, left side, even side, many whelps. Now handle it.
I forgot how great this was. Oh God. Oh man. Yeah, I've been there. Because you're watching it, and he can't really. You're trying to communicate with people, but you have to make sure they can hear you, because a lot of people panic when they have things hitting them. They want to just run away, and it's like, no, you need to bring them in closer to the boss. It's more dangerous. But if the other enemies are there, they can get hit by those, kind of cleaves and any kind of damage, AoE type damage, splash damage. It just helps to, get them down faster, and also to get them in a central location so that your mages can freeze them in place. You can slow them down. You can, you can do a lot more to them. But I thought this was YouTube approved.
That's a fucking 50 DKP minus!
Ooh.
What the fuck was that shit? If you stand in the right fucking place, there is no way you are going to fucking get into the goddamn whelps, whatever fucking fear, tail swipe, whatever the fuck, okay? It's like 1 in a fucking million. From the fucking north corner to the middle into the fucking whelp cave, it's not even fucking remotely imaginable.
Actually, the way it works is that a lot of people back in the day, and even to this day, they don't play, they use their keyboard to move around, but when they turn, they're using the keyboard keys, and your character turns at a very slow pace. If you use your mouse button to look around, you can move, you can turn as fast as you're looking. It's like playing a regular FPS game. You just move the camera, your character turns that way you can change directions pretty quickly. Back in the day, you had a lot of people who had all their spells on their bars in the game. You have just a blank of bars with buttons on them, and it was just full of abilities. Not everybody had them all bound to keys, so they would have to stop, click it, use their mouse to actually click the spell, which means they can't move their camera around, they can't turn. So it was the first foray into, you either need to know exactly what you're doing. If you're going to play like that, you got to be quick, or they just were standing, they went too far, to the center of the room next to the boss, and they got technically their butt now behind her, so that she was able to hit them with the tail. And it knocked, apparently the guy was an odd group because he was on the left side. He went to the center and she swiped him into the opposite whelp cave. So this fight was fucking chaotic. But yeah, it's good old days, man. I'm telling you. Yeah, and it sometimes would go that way, but after a certain point, your people are geared up. They have a lot of fancy equipment on, lots of good armor, weapons. The armor would give you set bonuses. So if you had 4 pieces or 6 pieces, they would give you some kind of bonus. And you would have a lot of your power would scale up. So this content would stay the same. It would just get easier and easier and easier. And you're doing it with the same people. They know the fight in and out. They get used to it. But it can get chaotic, especially if, because it sounded, if they were using DKP, there was no way this was a pickup group. There was no way it was just random people. It had to be, just had to be guildmates. So the fact that you're in a group and it's like, oof, ooh, I would hate to be, but see, I remember being that kind of toxic raid leader. Because number one, I was doing that. I was main tank. I was raid leader. I took care of attendance. So when I wasn't on, I didn't have a chance to just take a break. People would be messaging me and I needed to be in the game. So it killed my social life and everything else, because I had to, babysit 40 fucking adults who wanted to play the game. And oh my goodness. Are you kidding me, Blizzard? Really? So maintenance was from 7 a.m. Pacific time to 3 o'clock Pacific time. It then changed to 5, so I was just about to try and log in. It's now 7 o'clock Pacific time that the game is expected to be up. You have got to be fucking kidding me. Well, let's do this. let's do... Let's find a soundtrack. We'll just mess around with talent points for a while, I guess. There we go. All right. Wait a minute. No, that's the wrong camera. This is the wrong webcam. Wait a minute. Okay, okay. That should work a little bit better. There we go. All right. That sucks. I wanted to play the game, man. What the hell? I mean, it makes no difference, but cool. Yeah, it's fine. God, but why is my mouse going crazy in the game? It's weird. But anyway. Alright, so we've got hero specs. Look at all these choices. And I'm talking and nobody can hear me. God damn it. So anyway, what I was saying is that, you know, demolish for, you know, for the Colossus, it's not bad. It feels very PvP to me. You know, the fact that it makes you, you know, immune to a lot of those effects. Although there are a lot of encounters in PvE, which I do pretty much exclusively. There's a lot of those that are, you know, that's part of the encounters, that there's sometimes a knockback or a fear or a, you know, some kind of a stun or, you know, something. It's the fact that you can still use your defensive abilities. So I'm willing to bet they'll let us use Ignore Pain, possibly Spell Reflect. You know, there could be a few, you know, probably anything that's not an offensive ability, or so maybe, well, if you can block, parry, and dodge, so maybe we can put up shield block. I don't know. It is quite appealing because it's a lot of AoE threat. But like I was saying when I was muted, Mountain Thane isn't bad either, because the lightning strikes is, you know, these Revenge, Thunderclap, which is part of my rotation. You know, it's just part of my threat rotation, and especially AoE. You know, if it's already there and it's on a short cooldown, and it can, you know, these things can just be, you know, these lightning strikes can be pretty devastating. So I'm leaning towards this because it's a passive. So, you know, the fact that, you know, Revenge can hit multiple enemies, that also takes the 25% as well. So theoretically, if you're hitting 4 enemies, chances are you're gonna see a lightning strike at some point. Definitely going Devastator, only because I don't want Devastate. Because I am able to get my Shield Slam up constantly, so my Shield Slam is my main threat generator. Definitely Last Stand. Definitely Brace for Impact. Demoralizing Shout. So yeah, Revenge deals 10% more damage when you and 20% more when your successful dodges or parries have made it cost no rage. So there are ways to, you know, when you dodge or parry, chances are it can make your Revenge cost no rage. So you can then use it and then use it again, because there's no cooldown on it. So as long as you have the rage for it, you're good to go. I kind of want that too. It's 6%. It's yeah, I might as well. Devastator deals 10% increased damage, generates 1 rage. Absolutely. Shield Wall, yes. Kind of want Fueled by Violence, just so it's a good leech. You know, if I'm healed for the amount of my bleed damage, then, you know. No realms currently available. Because there's a bunch of people like me, they're just hitting reconnect constantly. Yeah, so they took all the realms. Because the realms were showing offline, but that meant that they were technically online to even show up in the list. They just weren't available for play. Let's see. Thunderlord, absolutely. Show of Force. Yes. No. Heavy Repercussions, always. Absolutely. Anger Management. I love that they changed it. I hate that it was, I want to say it was Defender's Aegis. They changed it. It used to grant Shield Wall bonus, or what was it, half your Shield Wall bonus, which Shield Wall, where is it? So Shield Wall reduces all damage you take by 40% for 8 seconds. It used to be Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. It used to be, wasn't it like 60 or 70% at one time? Might have been at the most. It might have been 50, but they've changed it. I wondered. Yeah, it's not as strong as it used to be. Bolster. Last stand. No, I want tough as nails. Yeah. Able to block spells for 30 seconds. That actually, I guess, depending on the situation. So if you're running a dungeon that has a lot of magic damage, or enemies that are magic, casters, you would, you probably would want that. But if they can be stunned, interrupted, feared, if you can get them to shut up and stop casting, then you don't necessarily need to block their spells. Oh, absolutely. We're going to go Punish. We're going to go During Alacrity. We're going to go Ravager. We're going to go Block, Violent Outburst, and then Battle Scarred Veteran. This and this. How many points we got left? We got 2 points left. I kind of want this one. I kind of want Indomitable too. Strength and Armor by 5. No. We'll probably do... Yeah, we'll probably do these two. There we go. And then we just fill this bad boy out. So Shield Slam's going to be doing a fuck ton of damage. Increases your maximum health. So Impending Victory, which is instantly attack the enemy, causing blah, blah, blah. The important thing is it heals you for 20% of your maximum health. So it's going to heal me. It's going to heal me and increase my maximum health by 10% for 5 seconds. When this health increase expires, you heal for any amount of the original Impending Victory that healed you in excess of your full health. Wait a minute. So you deal damage, healing you for 20% of your maximum health. So when this health increase expires, you heal for any amount of the original that healed you in excess of your full health. So if it was an overheal, so if you use it when you're above 80% damage, whatever's left over will heal you. Once you get a little health, health increase, when that goes away, you're healed again. Physical damage, Thunder Blast. What? Thunder Blast what? Reduces damage you take by 8% for 5 seconds. Ooh. Where's Thunder Blast? There it is. Next Thunderclap. Okay. Your next Thunderclap becomes a Thunder Blast that deals 40% increased damage as Storm Strike and generates 5 rage. So when you do that, reduces the damage you take by 8% for 5 seconds. That seems... Shield Slam and Bloodthirst have a 35% chance, and I'm using Shield Slam a lot. So yeah, that Thunder Blast calls down a lightning strike on an enemy it hits. So it's a guaranteed lightning strike. Activating Demoralizing Shout grants a charge of Thunder Blast. Ooh, kind of like that. Lightning strikes also deal blank, so 30% of attack power damage to enemies near their target. Ooh, god damn it! Actually, that's what I'm saying. I think lightning strikes is a more solid for PvE anyway, especially, and more specifically for tanks. I feel like because it's always there, it's just more AoE threat, which, intervening a target grants them a shield for 5 seconds that absorbs mag damage equal to 3 times your armor. Ooh, I guess I would use that probably in raids. Yeah, I would probably use that more in raids or higher keys, because like this isn't bad. Stormbolt, so it's a stun that I have, so I can have more stuns on 2 additional targets, stun it for 2 seconds, but its cooldown is increased by 10 seconds. So 40 seconds for a guaranteed stun. I don't know. I feel like this would be more situational. This would be for trash 100% of the time. Or, you know, boss minions or something. And what do we got here? Attacks trigger lightning strikes 30% more often. Lightning strikes generate 5 rage. Revenge and execute damage increase by 15%. Ooh, boy. That's huge. Huge. Yeah, we're absolutely going Thorum's Might. What are you kidding me? Thunderclap. No, that sucks. War Machine, Pending Victory. Revenge has 20% chance to immediately refund. Absolutely. Second Wind. No. Because 5 seconds is a long fucking time as a tank. There's no way. Yes, absolutely. We're basically beefing up Thunderclap, Revenge, and Shield Slam. That's the only things we really give a shit about. I kind of like that we now have Overwhelming Rage. That's maximum, because normally we just have 100 rage. Now we get 130. I can't wait to see some of the numbers Fury Warriors put out. I might go Fury for a while too, because spamming those executes with 130 fucking rage. Oh boy. Shit's about to get real. It's an additional time for 30%. Now see, these extra hits from Revenge, are they going to contribute to lightning strikes? I don't know. 10% more damage on shield strike or shield slam, and then 10% increased critical strike damage. They really, yeah, 3 of my damage abilities are going to be like the only thing I fucking use. Yeah, I don't give a shit about that. Cooldown of shield wall. Pummel intervene. Spell reflection storm will reduce by 5%. So 5% of 30, you're looking at a second and a half. Shield wall. 3.5 minutes. But is that counting? Is that with this? So let's get rid of that. So it says 3.5 minutes. So I get, okay, so it'll be 2.5 minutes. Plus 5%, 2.5 minutes. You're looking at 12.5 seconds, right? No. 2.5 minutes, 5%. It's 3 seconds, 3 seconds, and a second and a half, so 7.5 seconds. See that? No, it's garbage. 5% on pummel, same thing. It's like, yeah, it's ass. I mean, I do need it for one of these though. Fuck. Because I do want Thunderous Roar. How many more points we got? It's 7 points. Definitely do an Avatar. Fuck. See, but the problem is when I use Shield Wall and I get Avatar, even for the 4 seconds, it removes all roots and snares. So I won't have my Shattering or Wrecking Throw anymore. That sucks. That sucks. Wrecking Throw. Lowering armor. Hurl your weapon at the end. Why? And removing any magical immunities. Attack power times versatility. Deals X amount of damage shields. I mean, it is nice to have, but I mean, Thunderous Roar is kind of nice too. 2% auto attack critical strikes increase your auto attack speed by 20. Yeah, that's kind of shitty. Should I do Wrecking Throw or this one? Fuck. Removing any magical immunities. I might switch to Wreck because I've been using Shattering Throw forever. I don't know. That's And this is instant. This is a 1.5 second cast and a 3-minute cooldown. I might switch to this for just, you know, having around. Like it'll be good for an opener. Wait, I still have a point? Ooh, God, that's kind of nice. Damage with one-handed weapons and leech increased by 5%. I don't know. %5 damage. Again, it's, you know, it's whatever, but 45-second reduced cooldown on that. Oh, man. See, I kind of wanted to do one-handed weapon, but I might just do Uproar. It's whatever. Hey, there we go. Wait. Oh, I forgot I redid these. 28 of 30. What am I missing? This one, right? Yeah. Yeah, because this is great. 30 Rage causes a stack of Seeing Red, which transforms at 8 stacks into Violent Outburst, causing your next Shield Slam or Thunderclap to deal 200% increased damage, generate 100% more Rage, and grant Ignore Pain. It is one of the best talents that Blizz gave us. Specifically Warriors, but like, period. It was a whatever we had in Shadowlands, I think it was. And I don't remember if it was an armor thing or a we would have legendary armor pieces, and you could put one of these types of, you know, basically what became some of our talents. You would put these like effects onto that armor piece, so it would be just that, and it would have, you know, other things. So it was kind of nice. All right, let's do Rogue. I kind of like Trickster, because Trickster is Unseen Blade. So Center Strike and Ambush, now strike with an Unseen Blade, dealing 150% attack power damage. Targets struck are phased for 10 seconds. Phased enemies take 5% more damage from you and cannot parry your attacks, which means this can go on bosses. This can go on, you know, the tougher enemies, so they can't parry your shit. Now, granted, you should never be in front of them anyway, but sometimes you have to be. Basically, sometimes they're like a giant immovable thing, and you have to stand there with everybody else, and you just have to attack from the front. It happens, right? So let's go ahead and yeah, let's see what we got. All right, Sinister Opportunity. Sinister Strike has a 35% chance to hit an additional time, making your next pistol shot half cost and double damage. Is it 35% now? I don't remember. Adrenaline Rush, hell yeah. More energy, maximum energy, attack speed by 20%. Energy regen rate by 25%. Restless Blades now also reduces the cooldown of evasion. I forget what Restless Blades, where the hell that is. precision shot for sure. And then quick draw. I kind of like this one, especially because with the changes. All right, so killing spree for sure. I love that they put it back up here because it used to be down here and it wasn't considered baseline. I think that has changed because they saw a lot of people not going for it anymore. And it's like, well, why would you? It fucking, number one, it had such a long cooldown, the 1.5-minute cooldown. Now, granted, we can reduce our own cooldowns through, you know, finishers and shit like that. But so whatever. But it sucked because, you know, it wasn't a bad ability. It just wasn't, you know, it wasn't. They didn't give it the love it deserved. Kind of want to do that. Critical strikes with between the eyes, 4 times damage instead of twice. My god. Yes. Fan the hammer. Absolutely. Greenskin's whiskers. Ghostly strike. Yes. Underhanded upper hand. Blade flurry does not lose duration during adrenaline rush. Adrenaline rush does not lose duration while stealth. Blade flurry during adrenaline rush. Oh, they took out the slice and dice. It used to be slice and dice doesn't lose duration during blade flurry. Blade flurry does not lose duration during adrenaline rush, and adrenaline rush doesn't lose duration while stealth, which was nice because we'd kill a group. I'd still have blade flurry, which, where is it? Is it not a talent anymore? I guess not. I mean, why would it be? But blade flurry basically is you put on a you know, you put on a buff on yourself, and basically all your attacks spread to other enemies around your target, so you can hit them with some really heavy hitting shit and spread that damage around. It helps to you know, get some shit killed quickly. Versatility, absolutely. Between the eyes has no cooldown, also dispatches the target for 50% of normal damage when used from stealth. So I had to add it to my bar. Ah, shit. Shit. Fuck. No. Oh, I'm gonna have to dump one. So I'm gonna have to dump something. It's 3% versatility for baseline. Fuck. 5% per combo point to grant 4 combo points. So even at 7, it's only 35%. But I need it for this. Shit. Shit. 20% chance per combo point to increase the damage of your next pistol shot by 200%. I may have to go for this. Fuck. That sucks though. Oh. No. Yeah. Required level 69. Oh yeah, no, we don't get more talent points. We just get our hero talents. Shit. I might take it out of this. 3% I can get that pretty much anywhere. I want hidden opportunity. Effects that grant a chance for Sinister Strike to strike an additional time also apply ambush at 80% of their value. Why wouldn't I? That's dependent on crit, but that sucks. That sucks so bad. All right, we're definitely going Shadow Step. Blackjack. Tricks of the Trade. I don't even... Definitely going Cheat Death. Sprint. Evasion. Absolutely. Airborne Irritant. Blind has a 50% reduced cooldown, 70% reduced duration, and applies to all nearby enemies. I'd much rather have Gouge. Because at least then you still have your blind that's really good, so you still have 2 solid, you know, CCs. Kidney Shot, Cheap Shot, Sap, and Distract reduced by 20%. Oh, no. No, I don't give a shit. Movement speed, absolutely. I kind of like Numbing Poison, but maybe a Trophic Poison for certain, reducing their damage by 3% for 10 seconds. But this works on bosses too. Reduces their attack and casting speed by 15%. I kind of like Numbing. Deadly Precision, yes. I don't give a shit about poisons. Auto attacks increase auto attack damage and movement speed by 1% for 3 seconds, stacking up to 10%. But you only, I mean, you have 2 weapons, so. But I definitely have a dagger so that I can have a faster offhand. But I don't. Proved ambush. Maybe do feint. Ambush and generates 1 additional combo point. Tight spender. Energy cost of finishing move reduced by 6%. Let's even see what Killing Spree is. 45 energy times 6. 6% would be 2.7? Yeah, not even 3 energy reduced. Fuck that. Yeah, I'm absolutely going to improved ambush. An extra combo point on every ambush? Yeah, let's get that. I guess I might as well go with Tricks of the Trade. No. No. How many points? I got 11 points left. I don't really want Cold Blood. Points. Shit. That sucks. But I really like having Thistle Tea. Only because it, you know, it's 100 energy right then and there. I don't know. I liked Echoing Reprimand. The only problem is it's too random. You're then playing a game where you're staring at your combo points, because what it does is it deals, you know, a bunch of damage. It awards 2 combo points, and then what it does is it anima charges a combo point for 45 seconds. So on your combo point meters, there's gonna be a blue one. It could be 3, 4, 5. It could be a random combo point that you need to line up on and then use a finishing ability. And then what it does is when you use a finisher, damaging finishing moves that consume the same number of combo points as your anima charge function, or as your anima charge function as if they consumed 7 points. So it's nice when you get like a 2 or a 3 and then you do like a finishing move that gets you on one of those. But there's too much randomness to it. So healed for 15 minutes after gaining Vanish or Shadow Dance. I don't even know. I guess for a, you know, basically just an oh shit button. That could work. Just launching the game again. Attacks that generate combo points deal 25% increased critical strike damage to phased targets, which means I'm going to have to make sure that I have a lot of crit on my rogue. It's taking a while. It's taking a while. Still offline. No. I like how my old server of Nathrazim still has 2 characters on it. I think because I moved all my characters over to Dalaran because Nathrazim it's a normal now. Huh. RP. Do they not have PvP servers anymore? Huh. Oh well, I guess because they changed the way PvP works. It used to be if you were on a PvP server, when you left your capital city or friendly territory, you were fair game. You showed up, your name was red, enemy players could see you and they could just kill you whenever they wanted to. So there would be like, you would get into a zone that was no longer safe for your faction. It was a contested zone. Everybody's PvP flagged. Everybody shows up red for, the opposite teams. At least when you're in your home territory, enemies will show up yellow until you decide you want to attack them. Because there were times where I was first playing the game, and I saw a horde for the first time. I saw a Tauren coming around, and one of my, I was with a group, and we were just kind of messing around doing some low level questing, and they knew what they were like. Do not attack that person. I was like, okay, because they were just standing there waving at me, and they were like, come on, man, come on. Get you some. Ooh, Frostfire? Oh. Ooh. Frostfire. They brought back Frostfire bolts. That's so cool. Because this was old school. Frostfire bolt was, I want to say it was the first expansion? Maybe? But it was an interesting, because you had frost mages, fire mages, and arcane mages, but Frostfire was kind of a, it was kind of a cool little combination of both. Launches a bolt of Frostfire at the enemy, causing 110% of spell power, Frostfire damage, slowing movement speed by 50%, causing an additional 40% of Frostfire damage over 8 seconds. Frostfire generates stacks for both Fire Mastery and Frost Mastery. Ooh, interesting. Because I already will spec into Ice. No, it's Ring of. No, which one is it? Ice Flows. No, it's. Where the hell is it? Did they change it? Cancer's Flow, blah, 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 blah. Building 10% increased damage, yes. And it'll never be below 2. Yes. Yes. Increased by 10% crit, yes. Shifting power, yes. Ice Block, yes. Spell Steal, absolutely. Mirror Image, yes. Okay, here we go. Mass Polymorph, no. Master of Time, no. Barriers heal you for 20% of the damage absorbed, sure. Blast Wave, yes. Haste by 2%, absolutely. Yes, okay. Reduplication or reabsorption, I don't even know. Ice Nova? Yes. Okay, so it's Ice Nova. Causes a whirl of icy wind around an enemy. It does a good chunk of damage and reduces their and freezes them in place for 2 seconds. And it's a good like filler damage, even as a fire mage. It's kind of nice because you can just throw it out there. Yes. 2% spell crit. You better believe it. Yes. Dragon's Breath. Oh no, I should go Supernova. Right? Doesn't this do something with Supernova now? Oh man, these are kind of nice. Flame and Frost. Cauterize resets the cooldown of your frost spells with a base cooldown shorter than 4 minutes when it activates. Holy shit. Cooldown of frost spells with a base cooldown shorter than 4 is reduced by 30%. So what is this one? 25 seconds? Oh man, that's big time. I guess we'll go affinity. Definitely frost firebolt. Severe temperatures. High chance to increase the damage of your next frost firebolt by 10%, stacking up to 5 times. Oh, buddy, absolutely. Triggering an additional bolt of frostfire, dealing 30% spell damage. That's crazy. Yeah, frostfire is the way to go. You melt slightly out of your ice block and ice cold, allowing you to move slowly during ice block and increasing your movement speed over time. So even when I'm in ice block, I can actually still move. That's kind of cool. Comet Storm now calls down a meteor at 100% effectiveness. Meteor now calls down a Comet Storm at 150% effectiveness. I gotta look into that. So it doesn't necessarily, so what is Sun Fury? So Sun Fury did something with, yeah, so your supernova becomes a gravity lapse. So instead of pulsing arcane energy around a target enemy or ally, blah blah blah, it pulses damage around them. Okay, knocks them upward. Primary enemy target will take 100% increased damage. Well, this snap of your fingers, warps the gravity around your target and 4 other nearby enemies, suspending them in the air for 3 seconds. Upon landing, nearby enemies take 50% of your spell power as arcane damage. Gravity lapse. Supernova becomes gravity lapse. Pulses damage for the enemy. That's a Arcane Phoenix. Conjure a Spellfire Sphere. Save in the moment. Sun Fury Execution. Oh hey, World of Warcraft's doing an update. Speak of the devil. All right, so it said something about your Arcane Phoenix. Oh, Invocation. Arcane Phoenix is right here. Duh. When you cast Combustion, summon an Arcane Phoenix to aid you in battle. Arcane Phoenix aids you for the duration of your combustion, casting random arcane and fire spells. So I can still have Mirror Image, which is a 2-minute cooldown. Combustion is I forget how. Phoenix Flames damages 3, and the next 2 flame strikes have their cast time reduced by 1.5 seconds, and their damage increased by 20%. Oof. Fire Blast cooldown, yes. Surging Blaze, Pyrotechnics, Scorch, Heat Shimmer. Damage from Ignite has a 5% chance to make your next Scorch have no cast time and deal damage as though your target was below 30% health. Absolutely. Improve Scorch. Oh man. Oh man. Below 30, increase your target's damage taken you by 6%. This affects, so it can be up to 12% extra damage for 12 seconds. That's pretty fucking solid. That's you know, when I'm pushing, you know, Pyroblast into them, you know. Flame Accelerant. Next has a 40% reduced cast time. Sure. Critical Mass spells have a 5% increased chance to deal a critical strike. 10% more of the critical strike stat from all sources. Okay. Flame Patch. Flame Strike leaves behind a patch of flames that burns enemies, which I think it does that already by itself. Now you have to either spec into it or do this. 8 times 3 points of spell power over 8 seconds. See, yeah, I'd rather have Quick Flame. Apply Mastery. See, I don't know if I kind of want to do. I kind of want to do Living Bomb. Lit Fuse. So consuming Hot Streak has a 15% chance to grant you Lit Fuse. Your next Fire Blast turns up to 1 nearby enemy into a living bomb that explodes after 2 seconds, dealing 40% of spell power, 5 damage to the target, and reduced damage to all other enemies within 10 yards. Up to 3 enemies hit by the explosion also become a living bomb, but this effect cannot spread further. I kind of like that. I stopped using it for a while. Yes, because that's good for boss fights. What's the other one? Always critical strikes, deals 50% increased strike damage, and contributes to hot streak. So this is good for trash. This is good for single targets. So yeah, this would be, you know, this would be a good like Mythic Plus build just for trash. And then if it's like trash week, no, because they're changing that. Shit. Ooh, I would probably want this only because Dragon's Breath. What the hell is it? The hell's Dragon's Breath? It's around here somewhere. Wildfire, Master of Flame. Because we're definitely getting hyperthermia. And then we need Sun King's Blessing. So we need to... Oh boy. Yeah, we're gonna have to do this. Improve combustion. Spontaneous refreshes all up to 3 charges of Fire Blast and up to 3 charges of Phoenix Flames. God damn. Grants mastery equal to 75% of your crit stat. Oh god, that's huge though. Because mastery for mages, it's what does it do? Oh fuck. I forget what the mastery is. Does it tell us? No. I want to say it increases. Is it I want to say it's like the ignite damage, possibly. But this is big time. Because instead of having, and it lasts 2 seconds longer, I might, yeah. This way, I mean, you can still watch your charges and stuff. And then Meteor, because there was Comet, right? There was something about Comet Storm. Will always spell steal when it is summoned and when it expires. That's kind of cool. Codex of the Sunstriders. Consuming a spell slot, your arcane will grant you Lingering Embers, which is your spell damage by, looks like 1%. Oh. So it'll just give me an additional hyperthermia because I'm already spec'd into it. Approximately 1.66 procs per minute. Low chance to cause when your Arcane Phoenix expires. Invocation, when you cast Combustion. So yeah, so that's, while under the effects of a casted Combustion, you gain twice as many stacks of Mana Addiction. See, so yeah, no, it's this is still good because it gives me random charges of it. But it said where did it say? Generating a sphere while your Phoenix is active causes it to cast an exceptional spell. Now stack up to 5 times. Oh man. Ooh. Spell damage by 5% versus 3. Or do this when I just generate one. I mean, it's 2% versus whatever the fuck it decides to cast. Scorches guaranteed critical strike and increases your movement speed by 30% for 3 seconds when cast on a target below 30. Critical strike threshold is increased to 35%. When you cast combustion, its duration is extended by half a second for each spell fire sphere. You have up to 2.5. Yeah, because if you had the 5. Scorch. Scorch's critical strike threshold is increased to 35%. I kind of want that. See, where was... See... Comet Storm, where the hell is it? See, you would have to beef up Meteor, and that's a 45-second cooldown. So, see, I don't know if I want to do... Comet Storm now also calls down a Meteor. The hell's Comet Storm? Wait, is it over here? It's not over here, is it? So would Comet be Frost? I wonder. Hang on. Let's find out. Frost, Frostfire. Comet Storm. Glacial Spike, Splitting Ice, Thermal Void. Sub-Zero, Chain Reaction. Comet Storm. Okay, yeah, so it's one or the other. Calls down a series of 7 icy comets on and around the target that deal a bunch of frost damage to all enemies within 6 yards of its impacts. See, yeah, I don't know. 45-second cooldown. I don't know if... See, yeah, I don't know. That's why I was going to go Sun Fury, because then I don't have to spec into it. And it tends to be more built around my combustion anyway. So combustion is 2 minutes. But, you know, it's whatever. Should be fun. All right, let's see. 7 p.m. Pacific time. It's now 9 o'clock, so 6. It's now 6 o'clock Pacific time. Let's see. Damn it! No. Whoa! I don't want to create an account. Are you kidding me? Paladin, Retribution. Do I want to be a Herald of the Sun or the Templar? What do we got here? Wake of Ashes is replaced with Hammer of Light for 12 seconds after it is cast. Hammer of Light. Hammer down your enemy with the power of the light, dealing a shit ton of attack power as holy damage. And then half of that holy damage to 4 nearby enemies. Additional calls down Empyrean hammers from the sky to strike 3 nearby enemies for about half your attack power, holy damage each. Wake of Ashes is replaced with Hammer of Light for 12 seconds after it is cast. Huh. That's actually kind of cool. Let's see what Herald of the Sun does. Casting Wake of Ashes causes your next 2 holy power spending abilities to apply Dawn Light on your target, dealing 300% of spell power radiant damage or 400% of spell power healing over 8 seconds. 8% of Dawn Light's damage and healing radiates to nearby allies or enemies reduced beyond 5 targets. It's not bad. I think Templar is better for retribution, for damage. Cause that's a fuck ton of damage. Additionally calls down Empyrean hammers from the sky. An Empyrean hammer critically strikes, 80% of its damage is dealt to nearby enemies. Holy Paladins, oh my god. Always Blizzard's favorite, always. Divine Steed lasts 2 seconds longer. It increases your movement speed by an additional 30% for the first 3 seconds. That's not bad. You receive 20% less damage from Blessing of Sacrifice, and each time its target takes damage, you gain 4% movement speed up to a maximum of 40. I mean, it's just movement speed. And why, you know, as a ret paladin, I'm not really in the business of putting Blessing of Sacrifice on anybody. Undisputed ruling. Hammer of Light applies judgment to its targets. Increases your haste by 12% for 6 seconds? Absolutely. After casting Hammer of Light, you call down an Empyrean hammer on a nearby target every 2 seconds for 8 seconds. After casting Hammer of Light. Holy shit. So it's just gonna be raining hammers? This is gonna be great. I can't wait to see this. Divine Toll grants up to 100% increased damage for your next 3 judgment when striking only one enemy. Okay. This amount is reduced by 20% for each additional target struck. That's not bad. Hammer of Light instantly calls down 2 Empyrean hammers on your target when it is cast. Oh, so it's nothing but Empyrean hammers. Crusader Strike, Hammer of Wrath, and Blade of Justice extend the duration of Shake the Heavens by 1%. Oh man. That's by 1%. Crusader Strike, Hammer of Wrath, and Blade of Justice. Okay. By 1%, by 1 second, that's actually not bad. Wake of Ashes surrounds you with a holy barrier for 15% of your maximum health. Hammer of Light heals you for 15% of your maximum health, increased by 2% for each additional target hit. Any overhealing done with this effect gets converted into a holy barrier instead. Wow. So I wonder, can Protection Paladins be Templars? They absolutely can. Because that's huge. That's a lot of defense for a damage class. Calling down an Empyrean hammer has a 10% chance to reset the cooldown of Hammer of Wrath and make it usable on any target regardless of their health. Ooh. 10% on all those raining hammers. You better believe it. Casting Judgment increases the damage of Empyrean hammer by 10%. Multiple applications may overlap. Good God. See, that's guaranteed, and Judgment is part of the rotation. I might just go Sanctification. Hammerfall. Templar's Verdict and Divine Storm call down an Empyrean hammer on a nearby enemy. While Shake the Heavens is active, this effect calls down an additional hammer. So oh my god, this is fucking amazing. That's ridiculous. You gain a stack of Light's Deliverance when you call down an Empyrean hammer. While Wake of Ashes and Hammer of Light are unavailable, you consume 60 stacks of Light's Deliverance, empowering yourself to cast Hammer of Light an additional time for free. Wait. So anytime you call down an Empyrean hammer, you get a stack of Hammerfall. No. Oh yeah, I need to put this up, yeah. So gain a stack of Light's Deliverance when you call down a hammer. When Wake of Ashes and Hammer of Light are unavailable, you consume 60 stacks of Light's Deliverance, empowering yourself to cast Hammer of Light an additional time for free. That's fucking solid, man. That's ridiculous. I mean, I already enjoy Paladin, but still. Interesting. Expurgation? Yeah. If you have greater judgment, yeah. Whew. Reduces the cooldown of Blade of Justice by 2 seconds, or these two by 2 seconds. I think, honestly, with that having 2 charges, because I don't even know what the cooldown on Crusader Strike is. Because that... Crusader Strike, Hammer of Wrath, and Blade of Justice. So yeah, it's either or. I would probably do this only because of Justice, or the Judgment being so good. Yeah, that's definitely more PvP. Yeah, this is PvE big time. Every 2 seconds gain 5% increased damage to your Divine Storm. No. Projection. Yeah, that's what we want. So Divine Storm basically just swirls hammers around you, as it's just the animation for your AoE. Well, this causes it to fucking it sends it forward, and any of those enemies caught in that forward moving one, it doesn't do as much damage, but it's kind of nice because it does have a little bit of range on it. So Templar's Verdict, Blade of Justice, deal 10% increased damage, and the range of Final Verdict and Blade of Justice is increased to 20 yards. That's pretty solid. Yes, sir. Avenging Wrath, Crusade, increasing your haste. Damage by 3%. Each holy power increases haste by an additional 3%. If Avenging Wrath is known, also grants 3% damage per stack. This calls upon the light to become an avatar of retribution, causing Judgment to generate 1 additional holy power. Each holy power spent causes you to explode with holy light for 13% of attack power damage, reducing Holy Shock's cooldown by 20%. Hammer of Wrath, allowing Hammer of Wrath to be used on any target. Increases your damage, healing, blah blah blah, and critical strike chance. It says 0, but it must be there. It must be a glitch, because it's gonna increase the damage. Yeah, I don't like this one. It's so much better. Divine Hammer. See, I like Divine Hammer because you make it's a 2-minute cooldown. So they swirl around you, consuming holy power to strike enemies within 8 yards for like 35% attack power. While active, your Judgment, Blade of Justice, and Crusader Strike recharge 75% faster and increase the rate at which Divine Hammer strikes it by 15% when they are cast. Okay, so it deals reduced damage beyond 8 targets. Did they do something to it? Because that's kind of weak. Crusading Strikes. Crusader Strike becomes a 2-part combo, so you get Templar Strike, slashes an enemy for a bunch of attack power, replaced by Templar Slash, strikes an enemy. Oh, does it do additional? It was an AoE. Crusader Strike replaces your auto attacks and deals, but now only generates 1 holy power. Inherits Crusader Strike benefits, but cannot benefit from Wind Fury. Yeah, I'd much rather do Templar strikes. Wake of Ashes, there we go. High Lord's Wrath. High Lord's Judgment is 50% more effective on Judgment and Hammer of Wrath. Yeah, we're going for it. Improved Judgment. Judgment now has two charges. Vanguard's Momentum. Hammer of Wrath has one extra charge, and on enemies below 20% health generates one additional holy power. Consecration Divine Hammers for 12 seconds. Consecrated Ground. See, I kind of like... Each holy power has a 6% chance to reset the blue cooldown. I might just do that and then go Consecrated Ground. Did they just give us consecration now? Yes. Okay, that's what it is. Crusader Strike and Judgment hit an additional 4 targets, but deal half damage to those secondary targets. I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit. Now deal radiant damage, and your abilities that deal radiant damage deal 5% increased damage. Oh, man. Aegis of Protection, Shield of Vengeance creates a barrier that absorbs damage. When the shield expires, it bursts to inflict holy damage equal to the total amount absorbed divided among all nearby enemies. I kinda like it. How many points we got left? 5 points. Because what are we going for? Are we going for Arbiter? Final Reckoning Execution Sentence grant 3 holy power. Radiant Glory. So Wake of Ashes activates Avenging Wrath. Oh, wait. Oh. Each holy power spent has a chance to activate Avenging Wrath for 4 seconds. That's not bad. Because at least this is 2 minutes and you get 20 seconds of it. However, each holy power spent has a chance to activate Avenging Wrath for 4 seconds. Wake of Ashes activates it for 8 seconds. The only problem is that you have to use Wake of Ashes to activate it. At least with this, when... Because at least... Wait... Combines with other Avenging Wrath abilities. Because what was the other one? Didn't Avenging Wrath... Where was it? Didn't it change it? No. Okay. If Avenging Wrath is known, also grants 3% damage per stack. So you get 30%. You get 30% damage per stack. Call upon the light, begin a crusade, increasing your haste and Avenging Wrath damage by 3% for 27 seconds. Each holy power spent during crusade increases the haste by an additional 3%. Yeah, I don't know. See, this would be good. This is good for... I feel like that's good for like a boss fight or something. Final Reckoning. Execution Sentence. Absolutely. We got 4 points left. What are we trying to do here? Templar Strikes abilities now deal Holy Strike damage, and your abilities that deal 5% increased damage. Judge, Jury, and Executioner, Empyrean Power. Crusader Strike has a 15% chance to make your Divine Storm free. Holy Power generating abilities have a chance to cause your next final verdict. Judge Justicar's Vengeance to hit an additional 3 targets of 80% effectiveness. I'm definitely going to go Empyrean Power. That way we're just spamming our Divine Storm. See, I don't... Seething Flames, Divine Storm, Divine Hammer, and Consecration now deal radiant damage, and your abilities that deal radiant damage deal 5% increased damage. Critical strike damage of your abilities increased by 5%. Hammer of Wrath also has a chance to cast High Lord's Judgment. Yeah, this is tough. So I got 3 points. So that now causes you to lash out 2 extra times. Deals significantly reduced damage to secondary targets. Okay. Oh man. Divine Storm now deal radiant damage. Your abilities that deal radiant damage deal 5%. Oh, so they made it so you can't have both. You can have one or the other. See? So now I've got 29 to 30. I can either do this, your damaging single target abilities deal 5% increased damage, or your AoE abilities deal 5% increased damage. Which one you gonna go with? See, I don't know. I don't know if I want Radiant Glory. I mean, it's down here for a reason. Divine Arbiter, Holy Strike damage. Again, 25 stacks, your next damaging single target Holy Power ability causes a bunch of damage to your primary target, and then a 75% of attack power Holy Strike damage to enemies within 6 yards. So that's not awful. That's pretty good. Templar, Crusader Strike. But see, damaging single target Holy Power abilities. Now see, where was it? See, Crusader Strike and Judgment hit an additional 4 targets. So Templar Strikes, Crusader Strike, Judgment, Hammer of Wrath, and your damaging single target abilities now deal Holy Strike damage. So does that still count with this? Or is it only going to apply that bonus when they only hit 1 target? That's what I mean. I don't know. Oh, I'll try one more time and see. If we can't get in, then that's probably going to do it for the night, because I can just mess around with these talent trees forever. Boo. Ugh. Well, it was fun. I was hopeful, and I wondered if it would be a shit show, and it was, but that's okay. I will try. If it's up tomorrow, I may jump on and just, you know, go for round 2, I guess. But if not, then for sure Saturday, you know, try to get on a little bit early, play a little bit, mess around before, you know, doing any kind of party games or anything like that. Well, I hope everybody has a good night, and yeah, I'll be around. Might just do another pop-up stream. This was kind of cool, so we'll figure it out. But I hope everybody has a wonderful evening. Be safe, and I'll see you next time. Peace.